The name of the Most High. Exodus 3:15-15, again Elohim said to Moshe, Moses, this is what you must say to the people of Israel, symbol, Elohim of your ancestors, the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzchak, Isaac, and Yaakov, Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever. This is my title throughout every generation. The passage in Exodus clearly states the Father stating that his name be known for generations and generations, so why was it replaced with God and Lord? Did you know he never wanted to be called that? Did you know this name of the God of Israel/Yahweh occurs over 6,800 times in the Hebrew Bible?
Changing the name in the Bible. Both I and J were used interchangeably by scribes to express the sound of both the vowel and the consonant. It wasn't until 1524 when Gian Giorgio Trissino, an Italian Renaissance grammarian known as the father of the letter J, made a clear distinction between the two sounds. Dictionary.com. So when was the Messiah born? Around the 29th of September, 5b.c.e from messianicfellowship.50webs.com. So how did we get the name Joseph or Jesus? Over time Europeans decided to change things in the Bible. But YHWH will let the truth come to light. 2 Chronicles 7:14 King James Version.
But why would they do this?
Hosea 2:16-18. 16. On that day she will call me her Ish, declares YHWH. She will no longer call me her master. 17. I won't allow her to say the names of other gods called Baal. She will never again call out their names. 18. On that day I will make an arrangement with the wild animals, the birds, and the animals that crawl on the ground. I will destroy all the bows, swords, and weapons of war, so people can live safely. Baals and their worship. Several deities bore the title Baal, Lord, and more than one goddess bore the title Baalat, Lady. Biblical references to Baals associated with various places include Baal Hazor, Baal Hermon, Baal Hian, Baal Peah, Baal Perazim, Baal Shalisha, Baal Tamar, Baal Zephon, and others. However, as early as the period of the Book of Judges, we find references to a more generalized sense of the term. God. God is an Old English word which may have its origins in the Proto-Indo-European word pew, which means to pour a libation. In the Bible, it is used for the Hebrew Elohim, which just means God, but since God is the only true God, it's an appropriate identifier. The prefix of Elohim, El, is used in many proper names. From compelling Ruth. So calling Yah God is disrespecting him.
Names of Baal. Uz, Bacchus, Dionysius, Eros, Hermes, Pluto, Hades, Poseidon, Zeus, Kronos, Abba, Shamash, Mars, Cupid, Vulcan, Mercury, Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, Eleupercus, Marduk, Nebo, Cronus, Odin, Woden, Osiris, Tammuz, El, Baal meaning God the Sun, Malik, Baal, Bel-Obolus, meaning Lord, Atlas, Saint Valentine, Dragon, the fish god. Exodus 23:13. And in all things that I have said unto you be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. In the Hebrew Bible, Exodus 3:14, YHWH, the personal name of the Elohim is revealed directly to Moshe. The actual Hebrew spelling is, Latin-speaking Christian scholars substituted the Y, which does not exist in Latin, with an I or a J, the latter of which exists in Latin as a variant form of I. Now this is the issue, we in the English language do not need to change anything about the name. And don't forget, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with YHWH, and the Word was YHWH. John 1:1 ESV/43. So why not change it back in the KJV or the ESV? The Hebrew alphabet.
So how do we know how to pronounce the name? First, just like in Spanish class, we needed to know the alphabet. Paleo Hebrew is read from right to left. So starting off on the right. He. War. He. Yod. So the name is Yod He Waw He, or YHWH. The Tetragrammaton, known as the Tetragrammaton, the 4 Hebrew letters are usually transliterated into the Latin alphabet as YHWH, or IHVH, or YHVH. Very often, vowels are added to produce the spelling Jehovah, Yehovah, or Yahweh. In the Hebrew Bible, the Tetragrammaton occurs 6,828 times. From YHWH, behold the nail, behold the hand, Yasmana, yasmana.com. Note, this is an excuse of why the name is different. They cannot even make up their minds on what it says. First, it is 2022, nothing has to be placed in the Latin. The Latins did not write the scriptures. The Hebrews did. And in this day and age we can pronounce the words. So in the one place it stated that the letter at the end is Yod. In another place, both listed in slide 5. The second says it is Yod. So to get further understanding, we have to look at clues given to us in the scriptures. Our Elohim said, 2 Chronicles 7:14, King James Version. 14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves, and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and will forgive their sin, and will heal their land. If my people, which are called by my name. Well, what were the names of his people? The people was Yisrael. But over time the names were changed, but let's see what the real names are. In Genesis 32:28 and 35:10 in the Christian Bible they named him Jacob, but that was not his real name, it was Yaakov, pronounced Yaakov. The letter J in Hebrew should always be ignored. It was not a letter in the Hebrew alphabet, also they did not have vowels. Remember our Elohim's name. Most Hebrews were named after Yah, giving praise to him by names to the children. Joshua Hebrew name Yahushua in the Hebrew means Yah, Yah, is salvation, Shua. Isaiah Hebrew name Yeshaya in the Hebrew means my Savior. Jeremiah Hebrew Yirmeyah in the Hebrew means whom Yah has appointed. Obadiah Hebrew Ovad Yah in the Hebrew means worshipper of Yah. Jerusalem Hebrew Yarusalam in the Hebrew Yah, possession of peace. Josiah Hebrew Yoshiahu in the Hebrew means Yah supports. Jesus Hebrew Yahushua HAMASHIACH in the Hebrew means the Anointed One. The names do not end there. Matthew equals Mattiyahu. Joshua equals Yehoshua. Isaiah equals Yeshayahu. Jeremiah equals Umyahu. The Messiah Yahushua. So in conclusion, this letter is not Yod or Yod, it is Yah.
So that means the name is Yahweh. Southern Egypt and Sudan, where inscriptions referring to Yahweh were discovered in the 1930s and 1950s. The temple at Amara West was built by Ramses II, ca 1290–1223 BC. While the temple at Soleb was built by Amenhotep III, ca 1408–1369 BC. This is
in the country of.
This is just to show that Yahweh was scripted back in Moshe's time. Do not address the name, they state this is just to show Israel was a people.
In the country of Sudan, in ancient times that was part of Egypt, and one of them was found first in a site called Amara West when they were excavating a temple built by Ramses II. and he listed out his foreign enemies, and one of those was an inscription that translates the nomads of Yahweh. And then that was in the late 30s. Then later in the late 50s, they excavated another site not too far away from Amara West called Soleb. And they were excavating there, and they found a list of foreign enemies to the pharaoh Amenhotep III. And one of his enemies also was translated the nomads of Yahweh. And so this Soleb inscription, and I want to emphasize this, there are many inscriptions that have been found through archaeology that mention the name of the God of Israel, Yahweh.
Yes.
But this Soleb inscription is very important because it is the oldest inscription that has been found to date mentioning the name of the God of Israel.
So the area of modern Sudan was under control of the ancient pharaohs. And so this inscription was found in the 1930s. When they started deciphering it back then, the archaeologists, did they recognize the importance of it, Joel? And what kind of response was there back then, or was it tepid?
Well, yeah, there was. It was understood to be very important, mentioning the name of the God of Israel. However, there never has really been a controversy on what these inscriptions say. That they mention the name Yahweh has, in all of the translations that have been done, they agree that's what it says.
Yeah.
Where the controversy has been is scholars have been reluctant to attribute who the nomads of Yahweh are in regards to them being Israel. So, these are the Kenites and these are the Edomites. These are anybody but the Israelites, which is really ridiculous because in the Old Testament, of course, the name Yahweh appears 6,823 times. And so maybe that's the nomads of Yahweh. And the reason why they are reluctant to do that is because it throws a monkey wrench in many theories that are out there. Yeah,
about the development of Israel, where they came from, and
exactly.
those kinds of things. Now let's talk about the date real briefly. As we set up, we got about a minute and a half here. Let's talk about the date and the sort of context of that, and then we'll build on that in our next segment.
Okay, so the inscription itself dates to the 15th, end of the 15th century BC. And of course, give or take 10, 20 years based on how Egyptian chronology kind of shifts back and forth, but generally to the end of the 15th century BC, to the time of Amenhotep III. And it's one of his northern enemies. So we also know, that it's an enemy somewhere to the north of Egypt. And so, it's very early. We're talking about the same half century that Moses lived in. We're not talking long after the death of Moses that Amenhotep III put this foreign enemy inscription on his temple.
What is in a name? History, power, understanding, salvation. And for you who say it does not matter, you are false teacher. Psalm 72:17. May his name endure forever, may it continue as long as the sun. Then all nations will be blessed through him, and they will call him blessed.